Hello, class. Craig here. Let's discuss Little Girls or Little Women, the Disney princess effect. Now, as you're thinking about your titles, right, this is a reference to the book Little Women, which essentially followed the trials and tribulations uh, in the famous novel of, uh, of girls becoming women. Now, the problem in today's highly sexualized environment is that little girls are suggested, it is suggested to them that they become little women too soon. So references to famous texts and the themes in which those texts carry uh, are good allusions to make in your titles. And I feel as though it's an effective way to clue your reader into your purpose, right? The Disney princess effect, if you're not familiar with the Disney princesses, right, just Google Disney princesses. Um, again, the television show Toddlers and Tiaras, the Disney princess craze, leading to the preteen pursuit of quote unquote hot looks. Do girls become little women too soon? Great question to lead us in to the point of the essay. When you want to refer to a word as the word itself, right, put quotation marks around it. Sometimes people put single quotes. Remember, you only use single quotation marks when you have a quote with a quote inside of it. So you're quoting something and they quoted someone. So you put double on the outside and single on the inside. And you can review your quotation pages and rules of thumb if need be. Taking Back Girlhood. You can click on this if you wanted to get more information on that. This cover story appears in the October 3rd Christian Science Monitor. It examines how increasing sexualization of young girls in the media causes some parents to re-examine the Toddlers and Tiara Disney princess craze and whether little girls become little women too soon. Again, this notion, these female stereotypes. And this is a perfect example of those female stereotypes having a negative effect on young girls. Notice how it starts with an anecdote, right? Specifically, Mary Finucane started noticing changes in the way her 3-year-old daughter played. The toddler had stopped running and jumping and insisted on wearing only dresses. She sat on the front step quietly, waiting, she said, for her prince. Wow. She seemed less imaginative, less spunky, less interested in the world. Somebody's coming to my front door, so I'm going to pause this for just one moment. Hello again, class. I'm back. So after the anecdote, right, very interesting that the child is waiting for her prince. Miss Finucane believes the shift began when Kiva discovered the Disney princesses, that omnipresent pastel packaged, nice alliteration, franchise of slender-waisted fairy tale heroines. When Finucane mentioned her suspicions to other parents, they mostly shrugged. Now, alliteration, pastel packaged, nice use of the word omnipresent, right, everywhere. And when you want to combine two words to make one, use the hyphen. Slender waisted as one idea, but it's two words. Fairy tale, two words, one idea. Everyone just seemed to think it was inevitable. It was Disney princesses from 2 to 5, then Hannah Montana, then High School Musical. I thought it was so strange. These were new trajectories of female childhood. Again, specific examples, just like you want to mention specific examples, and you can write about TV shows and movies as well. So notice how the references help to develop the argument. The quotes help to add the analysis, right? And then the evaluation of the quotes, just like you analyze and evaluate when you fulfill your student learning outcomes, synthesizing your ideas together. Lots of themes here, right? Lots of causes and effects: cyberbullying, self-objectification, unhealthy body images. There's a blog, Disney Princess Recovery, bringing sexy back for a full refund. I'm sure you're all familiar with the Justin Timberlake song, Bringing Sexy Back. Now, obviously, the context of the song is meant for adults, if I remember correctly. And it's, he's bringing sexy back to his act, right? Now, again, he's an adult, and adults, and, being sexy is okay, enjoy yourself, consenting adults, all that good stuff, right? However, Disney Princess Recovery, why are they trying to over sexualize young girls? So you see the illusion. I hope I explained that well. Nevertheless, I'm sure you know more about the song than I do, probably, because Justin Timberlake's awesome. He's a very popular singer these days. To chronicle her efforts to break the grip of Cinderella, Bella, Ariel, again, waiting for their prince. Why do they need, from a gender criticism standpoint, why do these princesses need a prince, right? So her blog attracts thousands of followers. So she's mentioned the blog, she's mentioned specific examples. She keeps bringing in credible sources with quotes. Cinderella ate my daughter. What's wrong with Cinderella? These specific references of documents that are also examining this illogical presentation of femininity, which is resulting in stereotyping and stereotypes. More specific examples, social media. Again, can you bring in social media for as an example? Absolutely, for just about any type of stereotyping. Now, notice the ethos for Diane Levin, Wheelock College, a childhood specialist. So sexy, so soon. Now, again, see the alliteration, right? See the parallelism. Now, another figure of speech that this also shows is anaphora. When you start phrases with the same word for effect, emphasizing so, which is more, so much, right? So much, a lot of this, right? And a lot of this. It's too soon. There's too much emphasis on being sexy, and it's way too soon, right? It's almost like, so you could replace too sexy, too soon. In some ways, would be a similar use of anaphora. So now facts, examples, right? Credible sources, one after the other. This is right, exposed to unwanted materials. They're sending pictures, self-image issues, right? The amount of money that's spent on marketing, adult fashions to young children. It's startling. It really is. Now, explaining the reference to the title. The first one is to understand why any of this matters, and the essay continues along with one reliable source after another, one reliable and logical example after another. So good thing is you have these links, right? The Girl Scouts, the Boy Scouts. We talked about institutions, female basketball players, colleges. I mean, there's all the examples that we've been discussing for this essay: television shows, reports, television, music lyrics, marketing, magazines, right? These are all things that you can focus on in your study, in your essay. And you can also look at health problems and various effects of stereotyping, of objectification, if you happen to find those to be relevant examples, whether your topic is similar to this or not. The effects psychologically on stereotyping based on the various identities we can choose from is definitely something that you can focus on in your essays. So this is a good example for you to emulate. Let's look at the conclusion. More studies, more facts, more examples. Now we're getting into the idea of shopping. They bring in various examples of toys, clothing, and play activities. Also, right, are widening these gender divisions. Again, you want to look at toys, clothing, play activities, behaviors, things of that nature. Let's bring it down to the conclusion here. More examples of advocacy efforts, politics, institutions. When you look at the words, language, remember, all of these were ideas I've written down on my sample pre-writing as far as reflections in culture and society, right? Given today's culture and the access people have and lack of boundaries between home and school and between people and technology, you don't have to begin this work in first grade. Boy, is this true, especially nowadays in our, 2020 environment. The social feedback loop, more examples, more examples. Okay, so as it repeats and reflects on the point, right? The answer is not for parents to cancel the Wi-Fi, Simmons and others say. Reviewing the support. There are many ways that girls can use the internet and social media for good, but the technology does require monitoring and self-evaluation. That's what I mean, reflecting on the big picture. Could you offer a suggestion, a recommendation, a reflection, an observation, right? Think of conclusion, the nominalization of the verb to conclude. Think of other nominalizations, to suggest, to observe, right? It's hard to criticize a girl for delving into social media, for instance, when her parents are constantly checking their own iPhones. Double standard. We can sit there and say, oh, the kids, they're so messed up, she says. We can't sit there and say, oh, the kids are so messed up, she says. We have to look at ourselves, right? And notice how leading into the conclusion, the idea of culture and social media, repeating provocative images, values, illogical values, culture, and sexuality. So remember your conclusions, you repeat your point, you review your supporting ideas to remind the reader of how you proved it, and then you reflect on the bigger picture and hopefully something like a suggestion or a recommendation. The technology does require monitoring and self-evaluation will be helpful. A recommendation that parents also avoid the double standard. So hopefully you're feeling good about how this essay analyzes and evaluates and then synthesizes the analysis and the evaluation, right? Through the lens of rhetorical analysis, when they're bringing in sources, ethos, right? When they're bringing in those facts and those surveys, examples, logos, timing with the Disney princesses, and the fact that all of these groups and surveys and examples are timely and relevant, kairos. And lastly, pathos. There was a lot of statistics in there that were quite shocking. And I think that we can all agree that this is an issue that needs to be addressed. So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. As always, let me know if you have any questions. Office hour tomorrow. My phone is on during the day, weekdays. Until next time.